Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Top 5 Wednesday. The topic for this week is future classics. So books that I think will become classics in the future, and I was trying to think about what makes books classics, what do a lot of classics have in common, and I've come up with 5 books that I think will possibly make it to classic status at some point in the future. So the first one is probably quite an obvious choice, and that is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling, and this is pretty much almost reaching classic status already because a lot of kids are already growing up reading this, and a lot of schools, certainly in the UK anyway, are incorporating it into their primary school curriculum in some way. So I think this is one of those books that's just going to get more and more popular, even more popular than it already is, and it's a book that I think every child, possibly around the world, will grow up reading at some point. So yeah. Another book that I think will be a classic one day is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, and I just think that this book just sparked a new wave of dystopian fiction, and I think that this will probably be like a future 1984 or a future Lord of the Flies or something like that, because I can see like comparisons to both of those things in this book. So yeah, I feel like if Lord of the Flies and 1984 have become kind of modern day classic type things, then I'm sure The Hunger Games will too. Another book that I think will become a classic in the future is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, and I can just see this being almost like a future Jane Eyre, if you know what I mean, because it's a kind of novel where we see the growth of someone transitioning from childhood through adolescence into adulthood through a lot of hardships and tackling them head on and dealing with a lot of internal personal issues and things like that. And I think this is actually probably a book that a lot of English students will be studying at some point in the future, because it deals with so many topical and personal and serious issues. So yeah, I can definitely see this becoming a classic in the future too. Another book that I think will become a classic at some point is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, and I think this will be a classic in the way that Romeo and Juliet and all those kind of star-crossed lovers, doomed lovers, maybe like Wuthering Heights as well, all the way that all of those stories have become classics, because people just love that kind of story about two people who are madly in love, but there is tragedy surrounding them and they will actually never be together. So I really think The Fault in Our Stars fits all of those things. So yeah, I can really see this becoming a classic too. And the last book that I think is certainly a future classic is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, and I actually think this will be a classic a long way into the future, because it's still so innovative now. I'm not even sure that I will live to see this become a classic, but it's such a unique book, and I really think that it will stand the test of time, and people years from now will know about this book, and they will obviously read it to get a taste of what we thought alternate realities would be like and things like that. So yeah, I can definitely see this becoming a classic way into the future. So yeah, and that is it for this week's Top 5 Wednesday. What are some books that you think will become classics in the future? Please let me know. I will leave my social media in the description down below. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.